It's the song of the redeemed, rising from the African plain.
We have Shoshana Williams. Good morning, Shoshana.
Hi, good morning. Great to be here.
Good morning. We're so glad to have you. And as we told our guests, welcome to the coffee hour with Freedom Community Outreach. Now, Shoshana, you're a licensed realtor, estate realtor, and you're a strategist. And I've been told that you have a savvy advice to share with us, whether to buy now or later.
Okay, so we've got a few things going on in the market right now. It is a seller's market across most of the United States in most price points. And the reason I say most price points is because in the higher, in the higher price points, it switches and it becomes a buyer's market. But if you are in the market and over 70% of the market is actually looking in that price range between, say, 150 to 300, that percentage right there, it's such a seller's market that most properties are ending up with multiple offer situations and bidding war situations. And, that's not to discourage you because the properties do still have to appraise. And so, even though it's a seller's market, it's also a great time for buyers to get in because we also have interest rates that are still very low but are on the rise. So it is predicted that interest rates are going to continue to rise until the end of the year and hit about 5 percentage points. Now, what that means is that for someone, that's going to be someone that's going to be purchasing a home. If they purchase it later when interest rates go up, even that quarter of a point, it could be the difference between $100,000 to $200,000, difference in the amount of house that they can purchase depending on the price point. So, so that's significant for buyers.
That's significant
because, that's a lot. That's a lot of buying power that having the low interest rates right now gives a buyer. So it's a great time in the market. I think for both sides, it's just harder for the first-time home buyers, and the buyers that are in that really popular high-demand price range to get a property because the inventory is also low across the United States right now. Inventory is at a 2.5% to 2 to 2.5 percentage. For monthly inventory. And what that means is that the homes are selling way faster, than they've sold in a very long time. And so it's hard for a buyer to really just get a home, and not end up in that situation where they have multiple offers and bidding wars in that price point.
Wow, it's Mother's Day, Shoshana, and I know a lot of parents, moms and dads are out shopping and looking for places to live and for their children, and they want the best school districts for their children, right? Mm-hmm. And a lot of that plays a part in the market. How does that play a role in the market? What should parents be looking for?
Okay, so greatschools.com is where I recommend that parents actually go and take a look at what people have to say, what the ratings are. But beyond that, it's also really wonderful to actually go to the school's Facebook page, go to different websites where you actually get the opinions of people rather than just a number for a rating. Because what I'm finding is that there are different schools out there where the numbers might not show what the actual performance of the students in the schools are. I'm West Indian, and so I come from that tradition of that a child can succeed pretty much anywhere they are as long as they have the proper support and systems in place.
Absolutely.
But I also understand that it's way more difficult. And so even though I come from that school, having learned and having experienced different things and been in different school districts, wealthier school districts, not so wealthy school districts, I've learned that there definitely are advantages to living in the communities that have the higher property values because there's more taxes that are being, put into the educational system. And so, what I tell parents is definitely check out greatschools.org. Check out USA school rankings. And also, if you can go to those personal websites and personal Facebook pages for those schools and see what the actual students and parents have to say. It's funny, you know, you wouldn't realize this, but there are also many students out there that are also giving reviews to these schools, and they're sharing their experiences, not just with the classes and the teachers, but also with the environment. So I was really surprised to find that some of the reviews that I started to read about various schools were actually written by the students, which I thought was, you know, even more powerful than just a number.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. Yeah, that's pretty amazing. So if you're in the market, moms and dads, and you're looking for that house that's going to give you more bang for your buck, if we still can say that in this market, it seems like to me in Florida, we're definitely in a seller's market. And if you want to get more bang for your buck, or if you want to get in the best school districts, and Shoshana Williams has some awesome advice today. So start looking, do your homework. Also look at your HOAs, right? What would you say about the HOAs? HOAs, like we have CDDs and things like that for parents and kids. A lot of kids are in different private schools or charter schools that are going up. And will all this be affordable? What do you recommend for all of that? Do you have any advice there?
Okay, so as far as it comes to HOAs, I think HOAs are wonderful neighborhoods, but you want to make sure that you're going to be a part of an HOA that's actually a pretty strong HOA. And by that I mean that they have those resources, that they're involved not only within the community where the subdivision is, but also the community at large, because there's a lot of power when people come together. And so what I'm finding is that there are some really strong HOAs, but there are also some HOAs, you know, that could definitely step up and utilize the power of the community that they have with those that are a member of their subdivision, and really, you know, become a force within a community, you know, especially in the school districts. And so what I would do is definitely, you know, make sure that whatever HOA subdivision you're looking at, make sure that they have a strong HOA, because if you're going to be paying those additional fees, there's got to be a benefit to it. And oftentimes my buyers are so focused on, I don't want to do, you know, maintenance and yard, and I don't, you know, they don't understand that the power of the HOA can extend well beyond, you know, just your basic maintenance and yard work and you know, those types of things. And so I'm glad you brought that point out, because that's actually, you know, something that I want more parents looking at and holding these HOAs accountable, because you are paying into the HOAs, and it's not just about lawn services and keeping the neighborhood looking pretty. We want to keep our schools strong, and we want to make sure that our kids are getting, you know, the best possible education and resources. Yes. And like I said, you know, the community, when it comes together, that's when we're strongest. And so, you know, that is a great opportunity for us to, you know, make sure that our HOAs are involved in the schools and our communities.
Absolutely. And that is a really great point, and we just thank you so much for bringing that out, because I know here in Florida almost every subdivision has the HOAs and CDDs, which some have higher rankings than others, and it's a lot. And for those, it goes beyond mowing your lawn and keeping your shrubs and pruning your palm trees. It takes for all the listeners. She's in Massachusetts, so all of you people who,
And Georgia.
So you're Atlanta. I do apologize, Shoshana. Okay. Well, you're in Georgia. Even better. So Georgia has a lot of that's even better. So all you in Georgia, even if you're, so, I mean, if you're living out in the suburbs and you're like, oh my gosh, it costs money and there's a long commute and traffic, there's a lot of considerations. Yeah. Some people try to buy homes where closer to where they live to avoid the traffic. Is that something that you recommend as a realtor?
Yeah, well, this is, right now, to get the most bang for your buck, you might want to add that extra 10 miles into your commute, because especially here in the Atlanta area, the closer you get to the city, the prices become extremely inflated.
Yes.
And so the amount of house that you can purchase obviously then becomes, way less than if you were to, add a few extra miles to your commute. And I think that's going to be across the board as far as, the different areas are concerned. I am also licensed in Massachusetts, so, it's fine to mention Massachusetts. That's where, I'm from, and I can help people from all over because I've built up a referral network.
Nice.
Of really, really awesome agents that I work with, so that my clients can also get my personal touch. Right. With working with agents that I'm connected with. So,
yes.
I thank you for even bringing that up.
Yes.
One other thing that I do want to mention too, because this is an untapped market and it's a way that I've helped my buyers. when they're dealing with the resale homes and getting into these bidding wars is I've sought out and built relationships with new construction. And so I'm working with several builders, and what I'm finding is that the prices for the new construction is very comparable and competitive with the resale homes. And so if you're in a market where there's a lot of new construction, a lot of people tend to count it out because they think it's going to be above their price points. But what I'm finding is that the builders are being extremely competitive and offering all kinds of incentives and in terms of getting into a home because they are working with their own lenders, they're working with their own insurance companies, and so you know how it is. Whenever you cut a middleman out in any way, shape, or form, it gives you the opportunity to now put those savings back into the pockets of your consumers. And so I'm working with a lot of builders who I find that they're marketing themselves in a way that is extremely competitive with those resale homes. So I do want to let people know that is a possibility for them during this time and at this, and in this market.
That is awesome, and I'm so glad that you're so informed and that you're networking and continue to do so. We're just very proud of you. And
yes,
network with Angelina Griffin out in Maryland. She's out in Baltimore. She's a realtor as well. That's my daughter. Yeah, she's. There's a lot that you two can put your heads together and do. She's always in the Atlanta area. It's wonderful. Absolutely. It is awesome, Shoshana, as a mom, okay? As a mom, what are the key things that you want to see that people don't think about when you buy a home? Like where's the washer and dryer? Is it going to be near the door where the kids come in the dirt? Tell us, what are the key things moms need to look for?
Okay, so some of the key things that I think moms need to look for is definitely having that area where the kids can play.
Okay.
So we live in a society where, the kids are in school literally from like 7-8 hours a day. And it never occurred to me because I've always been that child that, I just do what my parents say, and I still preach that. But I've also opened up myself that if my child is respectful and says something to me, that I'll listen. And I have a 7-year-old, and she came home one day, and I was like, okay, put your stuff away, grab your snack, and you got to read for an hour. And finally this day, she looked at me and she said, Mom, I've been in school for 8 hours. I've been reading all day. Can't I just play? And I said to myself, I never thought about it like that, and she's like, I just want a little break. She said, that's what I've been doing all day, Mom. And so I think it's really important for us to remember, especially in this technological age, I'm seeing that backyards are becoming less and less important on that must-have list. And I think that it's important to make sure, again, this goes back to those HOAs as well. There's got to be a place, an outlet for our children that is not sitting in front of a TV, that is not, being on a computer or a phone, so that they can get back out to playing. So I would love to see us, parents and moms, make sure that you don't give up that yard for your child, because we need to get them back out there and get them out playing. And, HOAs usually have pools and tennis courts, and, different ones might have playgrounds. And so, look for those things. Also, like you said, having a foyer so that when they come in, they can immediately put their shoes either in a basket or in the closet.
Yes.
And likewise with their friends. Also, for single moms, one of the things that I recommend, because I have a lot of young clients, young single moms that are really stepping up their game and they're purchasing homes. And what I always say to them is that, when you purchase a home, you want to make sure that the bones of that home are really good so that within that first 5 years, you don't have anything major that you will have to invest in. And
Good
so
advice.
pay attention to the bones of the home. And by that, I mean like the plumbing, the electrical,
Yes.
the roofing, those really major things that could affect a person's budget when they first move into a home. But I would love to see, us really making sure that the home allows our children to be children.
Yeah, exactly.
And for me, having that yard is still important.
Right. Shoshana, we got 1 minute left, a little less than 1 minute. Last question. What is the average price home for struggling working class families or middle class families and 2 incomes? Okay.
So that price point that I told you between $150 to $250 seems to be where most first-time home buyers are able to find something, whether it's new construction, whether it's a condo, a townhome. That price point seems to be the national sweet spot. Where I'm at out here in Georgia, it varies because we have so many different communities, but that sweet spot I know it's a large average, but we can definitely find, that working class family that is still renting a home that's going to be actually cheaper than their rent in most cases, depending on where they're living, between that 150 to 250 price point. Sometimes you just got to travel out a little bit, and just be creative and have a great realtor who knows how to negotiate and get a boss deal for you.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Bob Agnew in Washington.